of addiction mindset recovery coaching programs. We help people quit things like nicotine, weed, energy drinks, binge drinking, and really any addiction you can imagine. And in today's brief video, I want to take a moment and talk about cart addiction, or more specifically, the weed oil cartridges or the dab pens. This is a rapidly growing problem. I can tell you that if you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, anytime we do a video on this topic, it always gets tons of views, tons of comments, tons of questions. So it's time that we start to address this addiction because it's a rapidly growing problem. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the two main reasons why these products are so addicting, and then we're going to talk about some simple ways you can begin to break this addiction to THC oil cartridges or dab pens or anything along those lines. Let's jump right into it. So the first reason that these products are so addicting is because of their ease of access. Whether you're smoking a black market cartridge or you're using this for medicinal purposes, the ease of access and the ease of use is certainly adding to the increased addiction potential to these products. And what do I mean by that? If you're someone who used to regularly smoke dry herb or smoke weed, you know that that's a process. It takes time to grind up the weed, to put weed in a bong, to put it in a bowl, to put it in a one-hitter. It takes time to do those things. It's a process. But if you have a dab pen or if you have a cart, right? It's very easy to use this. You're able to go throughout your day taking hits all day long. There's not much of a scent left behind. There's no real smell to it. And you can essentially walk around high all day without leaving any clues behind that you're smoking. So this ease of use and this ease of access leads to an increased tolerance. So what's a tolerance? This is the amount of drug or the amount of product that it takes to achieve that euphoric effect or to achieve that sensation of a high. So a lot of people smoke these things, they smoke them a lot, and their tolerance goes up. Now, in order to achieve a high, they need to use more of the product. Therefore, this increases the rates of dependency and the rates of addiction on these products. That's reason number one. So ease of access, increased tolerance. Reason number two that carts are so addicting is because a lot of these things, especially on the black market, are not just weed. These things are not just weed. So a lot of times when people try and quit, they start to experience really bad withdrawals. Withdrawals that you would not commonly see with your standard marijuana addiction. The nausea, the vomiting, the shaking, the psychosis, the depersonalization. Yes, you can see these things with marijuana addiction, but I would argue not to the extent that we're seeing these symptoms and side effects when it comes to addiction to black market THC cartridges. And the reason for that is because many of these dealers cut the oil, so they cut the oil with other drugs. We've seen things like heroin, trace amounts of fentanyl, opioids, and even nicotine being placed in these oil cartridges. Now you may ask yourself, why would a dealer or why would a supplier cut the oil? Well, one, it saves them money. These drugs are dirt cheap and they're very, very easy to integrate into an oil cartridge. We saw this with vitamin E acetate, right? They were using vitamin E acetate oil in these cartridges so they could give you only a little bit of weed and then fill up the rest with vitamin E acetate and probably other drugs. So you still get a high, you still think you're buying a gram of weed, but really you have no idea what it is you're smoking and what it is you're getting. And although you may not know, you're certainly experiencing those intense withdrawals when you try and quit. So people start to experience the withdrawals, which withdrawals could occur when you're trying to quit or just between use. A few hours go by, your body starts to crave that drug again, and you begin going through withdrawals. So Why are these things so addictive? Ease of access, increased tolerance, and added drugs, added chemicals to make these things more addictive. I did a video not too long ago on Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, and I got like 1 million views on TikTok, and people were saying, oh my gosh, I have this. And it hit me, the chances of 1 million people having CHS or Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome are slim. But the chances of people going through opioid withdrawals or withdrawals related to other drugs that are laced within these carts are very, very high. And we hear stories of this all the time. Someone gets a bad cart, they take a hit, and they wind up in the hospital, they pass out, something very tragic happens. So realize you might not be quitting weed. It might not be weed that makes this so addicting. Now, what about the people that are going to dispensaries, that are getting state-regulated carts, that have state-regulated third-party testing on them? Well, the reality is this: a lot of these products have much higher THC concentrations, and THC can absolutely be addictive. It binds to the CB1 receptors on the brainstem to create this euphoric effect, and anything that binds to the brainstem has addiction potential. So even if you're using a medicinal grade cart and you know it's real, you know it's the real deal, you still may experience addiction issues because of the increased amounts of THC. Now, if this sounds like you, if we've identified that you're addicted to these products, let's jump into how you can start to quit. So it's like quitting any other addiction. You have to start by coming up with firm reasons on why you want to quit. So I want you to take a moment right now and consider all of the ways that this addiction is negatively impacting your life. Is it negatively impacting your relationships? Is it negatively impacting your finances? Is it negatively impacting your health, both mentally and physically? Think of all the ways that this addiction is destroying your life. When people suffer from an addiction, they tend to focus, especially when it comes to marijuana addiction, on all the ways that this drug is benefiting them. And they tend to neglect all the ways that this drug or this substance is causing them harm. So it might be time that you start to consider that this substance, this marijuana oil or whatever it is you're addicted to, is causing you more harm than good. And I would challenge you, what good is it really bringing you? If you say you use it for anxiety, is your anxiety any better? Is the depression any better? Are you happier? Or are you only going deeper and deeper and deeper down a dark path? So that's thing number one: identify all the negatives and really start to question all of the perceived benefits, because these benefits might actually be none at this point in the addiction. Thing number two is start to come up with some goals that you can develop for yourself when you're quitting. Often people who suffer from a marijuana addiction, they dedicate a lot of time and energy to this addiction. What could you be doing with this time and energy? Chances are you're a very smart, a very brilliant individual, and what could you be accomplishing with this time, with this energy, with this extra money that you're not accomplishing right now because you're dumping it into this addiction? So get really firm on the reasons why you want to quit, and get really firm on what you're going to do during your sobriety to move the needle forward in life versus moving that needle backwards. Now, a lot of times when people are quitting these products, they start to experience psychosis and depersonalization, this detachment from reality. A lot of people develop eating problems where their stomach hurts, they're constantly vomiting, they're constantly feeling sick. So there's a few things, insomnia being another big side effect of withdrawal from carts. You need to be ready to manage these side effects as your body detoxes. And there's no pleasant way around this one. There is no trick, there is no drug, there is nothing to make this process easier. The only thing that makes this process easier is achieving long-term sobriety. And we take that day by day. The insomnia, the stomach problems, all of these things will eventually get better. But I can tell you this: if you stay addicted, these things will never get better. They're only going to get significantly worse as this addiction continues. So I need you to be really firm on your decision to quit, and I need you to start to do things to make you feel good. Those things may include stuff like talk therapy if you are suffering from depersonalization and disassociation. That's something that we offer here at our offices. Talk therapy often helps. Knowing that what you're going through is normal. When it comes to nutrition, we usually help people make up good nutrition programs to help them out. Often these people are only eating 1 to 2 meals a day. A lot of times we're focusing on things like soups or bone broths, protein shakes, fruits, vegetables, things that are very easy on the stomach, things that are very easy to digest, things that the person is comfortable eating and enjoys eating, that's going to replenish their health as they're going through this process. A lot of people who suffer from addiction to THC or marijuana, usually towards the later stages, are suffering from a lot of weight loss, maybe 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds. They actually become quite malnourished. So we have to really focus on re-nourishment of these individuals, just like we would have to do with an alcoholic or someone with a heroin or opioid addiction. Very, very similar. So I want you to start to focus on nutrition. What can you do? What foods can you eat that you're going to enjoy eating that are going to start to replenish some of these nutrients that you've been lacking in? I want you to take a long time, and I want you to also focus on getting a solid sleep schedule. A lot of people use these products in the evenings to fall asleep or just to take their mind off of the day, and this is very dangerous. It's during the evening, it's during your REM sleep, during deep sleep. That's when your body detoxes. That's when your brain processes all of the things that happen during the day. That's when your brain heals. But if you're going to bed high every night, if you're going to bed, blacked out or cross-faded every night, your brain doesn't get an opportunity to heal. And the next day when you wake up, you feel like crap. And what do you do when you feel like crap? You reach for more of the drug, because that drug is going to temporarily make you feel better. It's a terrible, terrible cycle. So I really need you to do some simple things to start to focus on sleep. I often tell people, when it comes to your nightly routine, change your routine. When you come home at night, instead of smoking, take a hot shower, read a book, watch some YouTube videos, talk to family members, talk to friends for support. But start to change your routine. Even better, start to work on some of your life goals, some things that you want to accomplish. But really, most of the withdrawals usually last only about 3 to 5 days. It's usually on that third day where we start to see a really positive turnaround. Of course, I would recommend blocking all of your plugs, all of your connections, all the people that you used to buy these products from. Block them on social media, block them on Snapchat. Don't be in contact with them anymore. And certainly, if you have any products laying around your house, get rid of those products, okay? You don't want to be tempted. Addiction is a very powerful thing, and I don't want you to be tempted by using these products if they're laying around your house or they're still in your possession. So getting rid of the products, blocking all of your plugs, getting on a regular sleep schedule, doing light to moderate exercise if you're healthy enough to in the beginning will go a really long way. Try things like yoga, try things like meditation, try things like visualization. Visualize a sober version of you accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish in life, accomplishing your future goals, because I know you guys have big goals. I know you guys have big dreams, and I don't doubt that you can accomplish them once you get that gift through sobriety. Write down those goals, write down all the negatives, and start to call out all the lies that this addiction tells us. Marijuana addiction is often very hard to overcome because of all the benefits, and there are benefits to marijuana, there's no question, but that doesn't mean that these benefits apply to you. You might be in a really, really dark place from marijuana addiction. Just because other people are benefiting from it doesn't mean that you are, and you need to start to see through that. You need to start to see through the social media. You need to start to see through the advertising. You need to start to see through the peer pressure and identify that these might be lies or things that you're romanticizing about that are no longer true when it comes to you and the addiction that you're struggling with. And remember, you might be detoxing detoxing from a much more harsh drug than marijuana. So please don't hesitate to reach out to your local drug addiction centers. Don't hesitate to contact us here at Addiction Mindset LLC and set up a consultation with our offices. I'm happy to work with you and get you in the right direction, get you the guidance you need for success. Drop a comment in the comment section. What withdrawals are you struggling the most? What do you want to see me make a video on next? Is it on nutrition? Is it on how to get a better night's sleep? Where is it that you're struggling the most with THC or cart addiction? And what type of video can I make to help you out? If I really like your comment, I'll shout you out and I'll make a video for you. Be sure to subscribe too. I'm always putting out new content. Subscribe and turn on that little bell so you get motivational videos every day from me and my offices. I hope that helps to clear some things up. Good luck. Reach out if you have questions.